Oh, what is going on, Blackfire? Welcome back to another edition of the daily live stream. Hello and welcome, you juicy mortal souls. It is Monday. We are back at it again. This is the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube. Welcome if you're new. Welcome if you're not. Hello. It's Monday. and the beginning of another beautiful and profitable trading week. I do hope for everybody out there watching here today. I do have a couple of plans lined up. Looking at the market overall, we do have a couple of interesting topics to cover today. Actually, I want to bring up the requests for today. I do believe I have them up. Yes, I do. Yes, yeah. A lot of craziness in the cryptocurrency market. A lot of the Walmart debacle going on through here today. So watching some of that price action, checking out some of that price action will be very interesting here today. But as usual, we're going to start off with the traditional market, and we're going to start off with Mr. NASDAQ here. Seeing price action close a doji style reversal candlestick here on the 21 exponential. It is very much crunch time in my opinion. And, we're just going to cover, a couple of the possibilities that I have lined out for NASDAQ here today. And one of those possibilities is, yes, basing a potential higher low off the 21 exponential. That would not be out of the question. And if confirmed, which, in my opinion, a candle closure above the 9th of September's open here, or above yesterday's wick high, a candle closure above 15,555 here on a daily closing basis will lead me to believe that we do have a higher low structure in formation here, and I will have no reason not to look for new all-time highs coming into, obviously observing some of these levels breaking to the upside. Allergies going a little nuts today. But obviously, if we close a higher low here, the first target I'm going to be looking for is obviously a break of the $15,600 horizontal resistance level here, followed by a break of the all-time high resistance at $15,700. At which point I would look for continuation to that 1.414 Fibonacci extension level target, around $15,800. That target we've been eyeballing for a little bit of time right now, ever since we saw the 1.272 break. But we are seeing price action basically put a lot of pressure on that exponential here. Now, what makes me think that the potential for a higher low is here is the fact that we haven't broken it yet, right? I'm not saying that it's not possible to see a break. Give me 1 second. I do need some of this water here. I'm not saying it's not possible that we don't see price action break the 21 exponential. However, we don't have that confirmation just yet, which leads me to believe that there is still a probability to see a higher low formation along this region here. However, if I do see an open and closure below the 21 exponential, the first target that I'm going to be eyeballing here is all the way down at this region here. 15,280 would be the first target that I'm going to be looking for, and likely lower. I would actually be trajecting a target to the 15,180 region. In line with stochastics here. We do, pull up stochastics. Yes, we do have a structure here to consider, but is that structure really valid in my opinion? Slightly it's valid. Oh man, my nose is so itchy. It's definitely slightly valid in my opinion, but it's such a microstructure overall. I would be more cognitive to believe that this is the major structure that we need to be focused on here. Seeing stochastics here cross below that 80 read, that very important 80 read, and now below the bullish control zone, definitely an indicator of pressure to the downside. And if that 21 exponential here doesn't hold, the downside pressure is likely to come on, in my opinion. Now, again, we could see that higher low structure. Oh shit, we could see that higher low structure. What just happened? I went to the 3-minute chart. Oh my goodness, I hit the wrong button. Here we go. We could get a higher low structure, but if we fail to see a higher high, above the all-time high here, things are going to get a little choppy in my opinion. I'm not trying to do too much, hindsight, because hindsight's 2020. I try very hard to trade what the damn it, I can't talk. Trade what the chart is telling me to trade, right? And right now we don't have evidence of anything other than we're putting pressure on that 21 exponential, and I'm basically looking at that 21 here to either hold or not to hold. We do have a little bit of hopium here on the RSI. We're starting to see that pressure, start building back to the upside. Although, again, not confidence inducing of anything right now, in my opinion, is not really the time to trade until we get specific signals here. We already got warning shots being fired on stochastics, which is absolutely crushed right now. There we go. My chart's all sorts of jacked up today. We do have warning shots being fired on the stochastics here with that cross below the 80 read and the cross below the 65 read below the bullish control zone. But we do see RSI reacting accordingly to that 21 exponential. Again, you gotta kind of expect a little bit of that pressure to come up, a little bit of that support to see if the bulls have enough juice in the tank to carry this one on to a new ride. And we do see RSI hitting a line of resistance so many times here, and then finally following through with full-blown resistance. It's really a sign that the bearish pressure is potentially on for this one here. Again, this is just my perspective. I'm not I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but things are starting to look a little bit choppy, a little bit. And that doesn't go to say that this is going to be some kind of long-term death debacle decrease to the downside. All I'm saying is that a break of the 21, in my opinion, is enough for me to look for downside trades, short trades to the downside, and I'll start to identify targets lower if we do get that confirmation. For now, in my opinion, I'm patiently waiting for this price action to play out to see if we're going to hold that 21 or if we're going to finally break it to the downside, which leads me to SPY futures here. We actually got two candles, that confirmation candle below the 21 here, which leads me to believe that we're going to be looking at another test of resistance before declining much further to the downside. I was playing around with this structure today. I don't think it's really relevant at the current moment in time. We're going to play with the 21 here. We got that break below the 21 exponential here, confirmed a second candle. Damn it, dude, I cannot fucking talk today. Maybe it's the excitement to get on the stream, but I'm getting a little frustrated with my fucking English right now. Okay, let's start that over. God damn it. So we see price action has broken the 21 exponential, right? And then we got that secondary candle closure yesterday. On yesterday's candle closure below. That's enough of a signal, in my opinion, to be looking for shorts here. We also got stochastics breaking structure. This is no longer valid. We have stochastics breaking structure. This is no longer valid. So right now I'm going to be looking for a test of the top side of the bullish or bearish control zone, somewhere around the 35 read, in conjunction with price action likely reverting to a lower target. We're going to go ahead and talk about that target. What are my targets? Price action broke the 21 exponential, the first target that I'm going to be looking for here. Technically, we got a little, real close to that target, but I'm going to be looking for price action to move down towards 44.15 and likely much lower to this region here, which we already got technical new lows confirmed, right? We do have a slight change of behavior on the daily time frame for SPY futures, which leads me to believe we have enough evidence here to be looking for targets lower. The only thing that's holding up right now is RSI on that long-term uptrend structure. I do believe that is at risk at the current moment in time. We do see RSI kind of like little bit of a pity bounce, right? A little bit of a pity bounce after confirming a new low, basically testing that 50 read, holding the structure, yes, but again, with the bottom side of the bullish control zone here, we've seen so much rejection of that region here, and then boom, exponential is now in a negative slope, and RSI is bouncing pitifully, in my opinion. Ooh, I got a message. No problem, we're live. We are live. So that's kind of how I'm looking at RSI, but again, the most important thing from my perspective here is the fact that we are closing candles below the 21 exponential, and the more candles we close below that 21 exponential, the more negatively sloped it will become, and the more confident for the downside price action I will be. Right, the first target, again, I am looking for is this region here at 44.15. The second target I'll be looking for is 43.75, unless proven otherwise, and that proof otherwise would be what? An open and closure back above the 21 exponential, at which point I would be targeting this region here at 45.20 and maybe even new all-time highs past the all-time high resistance. For now, I'm playing it level by level, guys. I'm being very cautious, being very aware that yes, we are technically still on a higher low trajectory here. This region could also prove to be another higher low. We have seen instances in the past where we got a negative slope on the 21, a little bit of a fake out on the 21 a couple of times, right? And these moves to the downside ended up testing lower moving averages like the green 55 and the cyan 89, which to me right now are irrelevant. So again, be wary of traps, right? Be wary of traps. But for the first time in a minute, right? For the first time in a minute, let's see. First time since this period here, back in May, we got a secondary candle closure fully below that 21 exponential, right? And the other times we got a closure below and then a complete recovery, followed by a closure below and a complete recovery, followed by a this is another region where it kind of faked you out a little bit. So again, very possible to keep that, that upside trajectory below that 21. It's very possible to see price action recover, but the way stochastics is looking here, definitely telling of momentum to the downside. It doesn't have to mean the end all be all price action, officially confirming a downtrend. While I am on lower high watch for both of those assets, nothing is confirmed yet, right? I'm playing it level by level, and I'm watching that 21 exponential very, very, very carefully. But again, the more candles that close below it, the more confident I'm going to be that price action fully continues to the downside here. Let's go ahead and check out Dow Jones. What do we got? Nice little recovery back above support here. Again, another instance of a potential higher low trajectory, but with evidence signaling that we could potentially see more downside. We're holding the support right here. We broke it and then closed back above it, which means we never confirmed it as new tentative resistance. But price action remains below that 21 exponential, which leads me to believe, yes, price action, in my opinion, is more likely to revert to the downside to the 33,950 target first and foremost, which still wouldn't be out of the question for that higher low trajectory everyone is looking at. If we're looking at this low here, we could print a higher low here structurally and continue onwards and upwards. However, if we see price action print a low here, recover back above this resistance in conjunction with the 21 exponential here, I will be looking for the next target. And that next target would be, I'm going to get rid of this line here, too convoluted. The next target to the upside, if that region is confirmed, would be 35,450 to the upside. And likely, maybe a try at more all-time highs and potentially bullish divergence here on the RSI, but nothing's confirmed yet. We do have another bounce off of that long-term uptrend structure line here. This is just one of those instances where it's showing you, yeah, this region here is definitely holding a support. We definitely have a diagonal trend line here, and it is working so far. But I don't like the decrease in momentum to the upside. I'm more of a fan of the decrease, and obviously, when the market turns and the market goes below the 21 exponential, I'm going to be immediately biased per my trading rules that as long as price action remains below the 21 exponential, price action is more probable to decrease in value. So, same difference, right? Same difference. Although we're holding that trend line, again, and this is one of those examples where there are points for the bulls and for the bears on both sides, right? And it's kind of like up to your own cognitive dissonance to differentiate the value between the bullish side and the bearish side, right? And sometimes that can make decisions real difficult, especially if you're trading the 21 moving average strategy right now, because again, we've seen in the past, boom, dips below, where a normal person trading the market would have been like, yep, we got confirmation of the 21 strategy, and then get shreked 2 or 3 days later on their positions. I can understand where there might be a little bit of confusion. So again, in my opinion, that's why it's like, yes, we have a signal on SPY futures. We don't have a signal, right? You see, in another instance, we don't have a signal on NASDAQ. We have a signal on SPY futures, and we have a signal on Dow Jones here that's been confirmed for quite some time now. I can understand where things might get a little bit confusing, right? Generally, when I see the market turn to the downside, all three of the big three tend to do the same thing, but we're not seeing that, right? We're seeing different sides to the coin right now, and in my opinion, I'm just playing it safe, right? With positions here, I'm playing it safe. I'm being patient. I'm waiting for the next opportunity to strike. So what's next on the docket? I do want to check out Dixie here. This might be the determining factor here. Dixie going a little sideways, consolidating on the 21 right now, while momentum is carrying up on stochastics and going sideways on RSI. Again, RSI is a lot more reactive to price action rather than stochastics. We do see stochastics here back above that 50 read, but we are still on a higher low trajectory. We don't have a top just yet, although I do believe we are at risk for one. Here's what's weird. We are closing candle bodies above the 21 exponential, right? We are closing consistently above the 21. And per my trading rules, the fact that we're above the 21 leads me to believe the target is going to be this region once again. We've hit this target 3 times in the span of 4 days here. 1, 2, 3 tests. All 3 tests got rejected to the downside, but we're still above the 21. We do see increasing momentum on the stochastics, although it is a little worrisome. We are starting to see a little bit of that sideways tick, right? That little bit of that diagonal slant here. Definitely a show of downside pressure. Nothing too immediate right now. There's only a very finite analysis for this one. I'm being patient on the US dollar index. I'm looking at 3 things, right? I'm looking at 3 things. I'm looking at the support here to hold, 92.52. If broken, the next target to the downside is likely to be the prior low here at 92.1. But the fact that we're above the 21 leads me to believe the next target is going to be this region once again at 92.80. However, If we break 92.80, the next target, in my opinion, becomes this region here at 92.96, in which this higher low becomes more validated and a new high in the structure becomes more likely as that price action continues. However, consolidation is consolidation. We're definitely moving sideways. We're seeing some real boring price action. Again, not according to the wicks, but according to the candle body closures. There's a lot of indecision in the market right now. Why? Don't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't care why. The only reason why, in my opinion, is because price action is going to do what price action does, and price action is above the 21 right now. So again, per my trading rules, per my trading theory, I have to automatically look for upside targets, but we're really riding that 21 tightly. So the alternative possibilities also weigh heavily on my mind with this one. RSI again, very evident, still above the 50 read. Exponentials above the 50 read. So again, another little pointer for the bulls here. But sideways nonetheless. And I want to be patient with this one. I want to wait for price action to print more candles here. I want to see some movement before I make any solidified decisions for Dixie, and that'll do it for Dixie. Let's go ahead and move on to AMC. Boom, new highs confirmed. I don't like the way the candles closed here today. We do see stochastics is extremely overbought. And you can see how typically we don't survive very long in here. We have in the past before. I'm not saying it can't happen that way again, but we are overbought. We did print a reversal style candlestick in the formation. We haven't printed a higher low since the 26th of August. So we are about 18 days since seeing another higher low. This was not confirmed as a higher low. This was confirmed just continuation structure to the upside. I am mitigating my risk off the 21 exponential. I did secure more profits here today. I am looking for a pullback at this point, right? We do see RSI creeping closer to the bullish control zone. This is the one thing that makes me think maybe we do see more continuation, but then I look at the stochastics here, coiling up deep in the bullish critical zone. The bulls definitely have control of this market at this moment in time, but we have to consider all the factors here. We have a reversal style candlestick. We haven't printed a higher low since the 26th of August. And we are extremely overbought right now with stochastics. So yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be the end all be all, but we're on a higher high structure. We are in an uptrend structure. It wouldn't be out of the question to see a pullback all the way to the 21 exponential here at 43.85. Obviously, I'd play it level by level, looking for 47.85 first, followed by $45 even. But ultimately, the deepest target for a higher low structure is 43.85. Right? Any candle closure below the 21 exponential here, I'll look for a secondary open and closure before looking for a complete reversal to $40 even, and likely lower over time. However, any candle closures above this low, in my opinion, any closures above $40 could prove to be a higher low structure, right? We could see a straight crash, touch that $40 level, wick back above, close higher. We could technically print a higher low. That's an extreme example in my opinion, which is why I'm playing level by level with AMC, but those are my downside targets. However, we're still above the 21 exponential, and as long as we're above the 21 exponential, I will be looking for this target here, $54 to be fully met. And if we break $54, we're gonna have to put a level. This would be the next level that I look for, price action here. Any closure above $54, I'll look for 58.40 next, and then come back, right? So we have upside targets, we have downside targets. We talked about RSI, I talked about stochastics. Very simple stuff in my opinion here, guys. The 21 being the main dictator here for price action and for my position. And as long as price action's above, I'm looking up, except for the potential for a higher low structure, which again is indicative of a potential pullback to one of these lower targets, even the 21 here. So that's kind of how I'm looking at AMC. Let's check out MMAT. Boom, consolidation. We are consolidating right now, seeing stochastics cross to the downside, a little bit worrisome in my opinion. But it's not really a sharp decline, right? It wasn't a momentous boom to the downside. We didn't really see a break of structure. Consolidation is consolidation until the end of the consolidation period. We're above the 21, which is a positive. We do see RSI above the 50 read, and slowly climbing, right? We did see this top call and then a nice spike down, but we're slowly climbing back up. The exponential is still positive, so we got to look on the positive, bright side of things if you're bullish here. As long as we're consolidating, and until we break the consolidation, I don't have any targets, but they are planned. Any closure above $5.40, I will look for the next target all the way up here at $5.90. However, if the bottom side of the range breaks, I would look for a pullback probably to here below the 21, which would be valid technically. We haven't printed a higher low since this region here on the 26th. Same date as AMC. We haven't printed a higher low since the 26th of August here. So a pullback to this region here, even a pullback to this support level at 3.75 wouldn't be out of the question, in my opinion, for a higher low structure. Although I would be very confident for very bigger English, right? Very much more continuation if we base a higher low off the 21 and continue onwards and upwards. That's pretty much it. Yeah, a little bit of a warning shot here on stochastics, but nothing too concerning until we see that consolidation range here break either to the upside or to the downside. And if either one of those conditions is met, I have a target, I have a plan. Let's go. Hall of Fame. Oh no! Not a top! Not a lower high. I'm looking for lower lows. I'm looking for $2.85 to break. My next target here with this confirmation is going to be $2.55, and in my opinion, likely lower. When in doubt, pull out. This likely ends up being a structural lower high in the grand scheme of the entire structure as a whole, and I do believe the downtrend is likely to continue. We do see stochastics here. Very, very, very critical signal below that 50 read here, confirming that lower high. Don't like it. We also see RSI here rejecting the exponential, and more importantly, rejecting that 50 read, confirming a top call with bearish divergence. Again, I will be looking for continuation as a result. Again, unless we see some kind of miracle recovery back above the 21 and back above $3.05, my disposition is to the downside. But let's go ahead and talk about the upside possibilities. Any candle closure above $3.05, I will look for a back test to confirm it as new tentative support before looking for a test of the current high at $3.38 and likely higher. Just because we got a top here doesn't mean we can't reverse and print, that higher low structure. It's still a possibility. It's not out of the question, and technically we are consolidating right now. So the most important thing, in my opinion, is to look for a break of $2.85 or a break of $3.05. Very, very, very critical moment in my opinion, but I don't like the evidence that I'm being provided. I have to stick with my trading fundamentals here, and the fact that we're below the 21 exponential here, confirming a lower high in this structure, rejecting the 50 read, breaking the 50 read on stochastics, not a good look for the Hall of Fame. And again, while I don't trade my opinion, I trade technical analysis. Gun to my head, I have to tell you my opinion. My opinion is I think this one's coming down, guys. So that's going to do it for the Hall of Fame. I think it's time for Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on with Bitcoin? Pressure is most definitely down. Part of that Walmart debacle. We'll go to the 4-hour time frame here. We got this extreme Darth Maul candlestick here. I do believe that is a reaction of the news being fake, which is one reason I don't pay attention to news, because it's not fucking reliable. I'm not saying it's not tradable. It's definitely tradable. But on the 4-hour time frame here, we do have a low, but we do see weakness in the RSI, potentially looking for a lower high structure on the shorter term time frames, which would be indicative of continuation on the daily time frame as well. Stochastics being your only laggard, we did confirm a lower low, which is not good. So any price action coming to the upside, in my opinion, I'm going to be looking for lower high structures along the way, especially on the 4-hour time frame and the shorter term time frames. I will be looking for that momentum to carry downwards. Let's go ahead and move on to the daily time frame here. If there's anybody live watching, dropping comments, I'm not getting anything. I do apologize. I might be having technical difficulties. It might be because, I have a viewer. Speak of the devil. But looking at Bitcoin here, we do have a support line here coming back all the way here that we've seen act as tentative resistance multiple times. We're seeing a hold structure right now, but we're putting a lot of pressure. This was almost a top call here. If we would have saw a candle closure below 44,615, which is still conditionally acceptable in my opinion. Any candle closure below 44,615 here, in my opinion, will flag that top call on the RSI. More importantly, we are seeing pressure with that 50 read acting as tentative resistance once already, and the exponential is extremely negative, and we are seeing pressure move to the downside. Stochastics as well, breaking into the bearish control zone. Not a good signal. We do see a little bit of waning momentum here, but the pressure, in my opinion, is still to the downside. We aren't seeing any rising formation here, which leads me to believe that I do think that 44,620 region here breaks. And if I do get that condition met, I will be looking for the downside target of 42,230. The top side of this blue box territory in conjunction with this support level here. I will look for that to be the next tentative target here for price action. However, it doesn't mean we can't continue consolidating. I do believe price action is consolidating at the current moment in time. We have plenty of tests of the upside resistance and the bottom side support holding strong on both. So we do have a consolidation phase to pay attention to here. However, as far as candle bodies are concerned here, we're seeing a decrease in upside momentum here. We're starting to see these candle bodies start formulating to the downside. We can get a little bit of a little bit of a trend line here. It's valid. If you want to consider it valid, it is valid in my opinion, and I do believe that the pressure is to the downside. If the bulls want to see this recover, print a higher low structure, which is possible, I think they need to do it quicker rather than later, right? They need to do it sooner rather than later here. Let's go ahead and talk about that formation as a possibility here. Yes, if we do confirm a higher low here and continue onwards and upwards, I will look at it as a structural low, right? A macro higher low in conjunction with this one here, which would be technically valid with continuation back above the 21 exponential. I would look for price action to go back above 47,000 and maybe even strike that $50,000 read once again, assuming we confirm a low here. But if we don't confirm that low here, price action, in my opinion, is coming to the south. And we have plenty of evidence suggesting that factor here. So it's crunch time. I'm mitigating my risk off the 21. Been doing that every day, even over the weekend, and I'm getting closer to closer. This little green line that I have here is my break even, right? I'm taking profits, obviously. I'm taking profits along the way. I've already taken profit on the first test of this support level, this support level here, but I always want to mitigate my risk. I always want to be aware of where I'm going to lose and where I'm not going to lose. And the 21 exponential has to come down to this region here, right? For me to pull up 2%. And at that 2% will be a break-even position, right? And, obviously, I want the 21 to fall below that because at that point, I would be in the profit every time I mitigate my risk. And overall, for a daily position on the 21 exponential moving average strategy, that is one of the ultimate goals, is to get your overall position into the profit and take profit along the way. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. It's a little boring. Yeah, it's a little boring, except for yesterday. Yesterday got a little crazy, and we're definitely going to be looking at some of the other cryptocurrencies that went crazy along with it, including Litecoin. We'll definitely take a look at Litecoin, but yeah, that's price action for Bitcoin. I think it's time for requests. This might be a little bit of a shorter stream today. MMAT, I think I did MMAT. Fubo. Ooh, that is a sign of reversal if I ever fucking saw one. Straight death below the 21 exponential, printing a top, cross below the exponential, sharp rejection of the critical zone for the bullish control zone, back to the bottom of the bullish control zone. This is one of those indications. This is a sharp reversal signal. I'm going to be looking for price action to print new lows below 26.35. Ultimately, yes, it wouldn't be out of the question to see a pump back up during pre-market hours and market opening hours to test that 21 as new tentative resistance. But if confirmed on the shorter term time frames, in my opinion, I think this one continues straight through. The momentum is definitely being pressured to the downside. We do have a lower high structure here on RSI, a break below that 50 read, new lows confirmed, and a change of behavior confirmed, and a sharp cross of the exponential with stochastics. Unless we recover back above that 21, man, which is possible. Yes, it is possible, but statistically, in my opinion, not as possible as continuation. But if we do recover back above, I would be looking for a test of this resistance here at 29.5 first. But again, I want to see a break back above that to be convinced that we have, a trajectory to the upside, which, we did. But boom, this has been broken. This is broken to the downside. Yes, we could go and use a 2-point, but I am confident with that 3-point uptrend structure here. We have a lot of great tests of that region along the way, confirming it as support, and that support has been shattered, absolutely shreked with an 8% drop today. So it'll be interesting to see if this continues to the downside. I do think this looks like a little bit like a reversal, market reversal here. This is a warning shot being fired here for tentative market reversal to the downside. And if I see continuation with a secondary candle closure below the 21, I'm going to be very convinced that this market likely prints new lows. But overall, man, you got to argue that this is just one big consolidation phase that's just kind of like crunching up in size. So, you know, it is what it is. Go with the price action. Go with the flow here. And the flow right now is telling me this one likely continues to the downside. Again, that critical read here with one candlestick below the entire structure, confirming a break of that 50 read here. Not looking too sexy. Not looking too sexy, Fubo. Do I have any? Yep, AHT. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. AHT, mother trucker. Give me 1 second, everyone. Consolidation, man. I'm still looking at this as consolidation until proven otherwise. And we'll talk about that proof otherwise. Ooh, we got a closure above the 21 here? This might be that first warning shot that we're looking for. We do have an uptrend. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't have an uptrend. Yeah, we don't have an uptrend. It's consolidation, man. This one's consolidating for sure. Consolidating on all-time lows, I do believe. Yeah, all-time lows here. Not looking extremely healthy, in my opinion. This one is just... and here's one of the contributing factors, right? We're coming up. Momentum is decreasing on stochastics here. Back below the bullish control zone, I do believe. Right on the bullish control zone here. Let's go ahead and mark that off. Turn that to 65. Yeah, we're basically right on that bullish control zone edge here. Yeah, we do see a little bit of pressure to the upside, which, you know, it is possible to see a low here and then revert back to the upside. I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but, you know, price action still consolidating. It's consolidating off all-time lows here. Just got back above the 21 exponential. I will be looking for a secondary confirmation candle closure above that 21 exponential, and if that is confirmed, I'll have no reason not to look for the next target, which is, in my opinion, this region here. About 18 bucks would be the next target, which would be indicative of continuation further up, because at that given point here, with the secondary candle closure above the 21, I would be looking to opening a position. We do see RSI here. Very, very weak, very, very choppy in my opinion, but up nonetheless, bouncing off that positively sloped exponential and confirming a new high. So there is something for the bullish perspective here to consider, but if we revert back down below that 21 exponential, I'll look for this entire structure to fail, and I'll look for a test all the way down to 13.92 and possibly even lower, but that's the first target I'm going to be looking at. But again, as long as we keep consolidating, I'm just going to call consolidation until one of the other, the top side resistance breaks or the bottom side support breaks. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave AHT here. USD. Time for some crypto. Polka dot. Yeah, this one's coming off new all-time highs. Looking at a little bit of a cool-off here. Bounce off the bullish control zone, back through. We do have the potential for some bearish divergence. That is not out of the question here on both the RSI and stochastics, but we do. Let's see what the shorter-term time frames here tell us. We already have bearish divergence here confirmed on the shorter-term time frames, but we're coming off new all-time highs. We're holding support. We're above the 21. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for continuation to new all-time high. Oh, not all-time highs. New highs. Excuse me. Scratch the all-time high. I didn't zoom out when in doubt. Pull out. We are coming off new highs, playing a little bit of bearish divergence. We do have a potential to see more bearish divergence formulate here on stochastics and on RSI, but things, in my opinion, generally look good. Well, we confirmed the new breakout point as tentative support, and I would look for continuation all the way up to $40.65 first and foremost. However, when's the last high or low? This is the last high or low. Yeah, I think continuation is a likely call unless we see some kind of flash crash below the 21, at which point I would look for a continuation drive to the 27.25 region or the current low. First, let's go ahead and fuck around with these horizontals here. Yeah, that's a little bit of a box territory. I'd say price action could fall to this region here. Anywhere between, anywhere in the $28 region would be a possibility if we saw like some kind of flash crash below the 21 exponential. But this one is definitely trading counter trend to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's got pressure to the downside. This one's got pressure to the upside. So very exciting. And as long as price action's above that 21, I will be looking for continuation. You know, and if we do see today's candle closure below 34.50 here, the new tentative support, which in my opinion is not that likely, but it is possible. I would look for a back test initially of the 21 exponential, and then I would get worried with any closures below it. However, the next target is easily $40.80 here. Stochastics bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, shooting back up, very, very, very erect and girthy. RSI is a little bit concerning, but above the exponential and aiming for another shot into the bullish control zone. You know, Nothing too concerning. Structure is decent. I do like the price action here. I would be looking for continuation. Let's go ahead and move on to 1 USD. One of the few that's still above the 21. Yeah, one is pretty explosive as well. Harmony, yep. Boom, still above the 21, although we haven't confirmed a top, but this is a little concerning here. When's the last high or low? 6th? Yeah, you know, I'll pull back to the 21 or this support level here at 15 spot 3 cents wouldn't be out of the question here. We are seeing pressure to the downside. We do see a little bit of a forced downside movement on momentum here with the test of the top side or the bullish control zone, but we haven't crossed the exponential, so anything's possible. But what is concerning here is that momentous drive below the bullish control zone and below the exponential. This is what's leading me to believe that continuation to the downside is a little bit more likely, but wouldn't be out of the question. Wouldn't be out of the question to see a higher low structure come along 15 cents here. Would not be out of the question. A little bit of a stab of the 21 and then boom, revert back to the upside. Again, this is one of the ones that's coming on new all-time highs here and looking extremely bullish in comparison to other cryptocurrencies. So pull back, hit the 21, base a higher low, or base a higher low here and continue on wouldn't be out of the question either. But this is the resistance that I'm going to be looking at right now, the all-time high resistance, at which point now I have to get Fibonacci's. Oh, there they are. We broke above this region here at 20 cents, which is the prior all-time high. So a continuation drive to the 1.272 Fibonacci extension target is still a very, very valid possibility unless we see some kind of reversal here. 24.3 cents would be the next target to the upside. Again, barring any kind of like swan dive to the downside here for this cryptocurrency. But as long as price action remains above and confirms a higher low, higher high structure above that 21 exponential, the 1.272 is going to be my next valid target. However, a crash below the 21 exponential, I will look for the first target at 13 cents and likely even lower at 11 cents to the downside. But we're well and far away from that. That is 1 USD. Litecoin, and just for fun, but also notice even with crazy price, it ended up then. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at LTC here. That's Link. Excuse me. Yeah, look at that Darth Maul crazy candlestick here. This does not look stable. Very, very, very much below the 21 exponential. Pressure to the downside is valid. I will be looking for a price movement towards $162 first and likely to 143 over time. We do see stochastics here curling back up a little bit, but I've seen this before. I've seen stochastics print new lows, look like it's about to come up, and then get rejected by the exponential and drive deeper into the bearish control zone. RSI here playing around with that 50 read. If we do see any continuation off of that 21 to the downside, we likely get that signal below the 50 read, which will be very, very, very confident inducing for more downside continuation. Also considering the fact that this is also a structural lower high in comparison to the all-time highs here in the bull market, not a good sign at all. If Bitcoin is going into a bear market, Litecoin is also likely to do the same. You pull up the 15-minute chart though on this one and it looks freaking crazy. Look at that, man. Absolutely heinous move to the upside. Got absolutely rejected once they figured out that it was bullshit. And this is one of the reasons why I don't trade news. I trade technical analysis. And even on the 15-minute chart, you never got confirmation of a trade at all with this move here. On the 4-hour, no confirmation of a trade. This is just from a trader's perspective, from an analysis perspective, this is an absolutely heinous bull trap here that got extremely sold into. This is not valid in my opinion. Absolutely disgusting, yes. And I think I disagree with the argument that this one closed stable. We closed below the 21, man, on the daily time frame, so not looking too stable. Lower high structure confirmed. I do believe lower lows is going to be the next thing to come here for this price action. So the most important factor that I'm going to be looking for is the 163 region here, this support, as well as the 21. Now, it's not impossible to see a closure above the 21 exponential, but I want to see confirmation of that first. And if we do, I want to see an open and closure above the 21 before looking for the next price target up towards 198.55. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave Litecoin here. Again, following the same pattern as Bitcoin, we saw some craziness in Bitcoin too. We saw a sharp wake up, a sharp wake down, a crazy 4-hour time frame, candlestick closures here, but I don't care. I don't care about the news. All I care about is that 21, and I got no signals off that 21. So my general disposition for Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoins alike remains the same. As long as we're below that 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking for pressure to the downside, and the momentum oscillators speak the volume as well. So I think that's going to do it, everybody. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. I understand that it says I'm playing Subnautica. I forgot to change that. I'm still learning. I do apologize. Although I did type out, a nice description today, I forgot to change that thing. But yeah, if you guys missed any of the analysis, hit the rewind button. Everything that's normally there is there. And until next time, everybody, thanks for being here. Love you all for the support. Stay safe.